Why take one vacation with the family when you could take all of them? With Royal Caribbean, you don't just go to the beach. You visit a private island and race down the tallest water slide in North America. You don't just go for a road trip. You ATV and zip line through the jungle. You don't just go somewhere new. You rappel down waterfalls and discover ancient temples. Because this isn't just any vacation. This is all the vacations. Come seek the Royal Caribbean. Ships Registry, Bahamas.
Hey, y'all, guess what time it is? It's the Grolic Saves the World time.
All right, the Grolic saves the world.
That's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're getting big. Our worries are mixed. Let's have some cake. While the Grolic saves the world. We're getting big. Our worries are mixed. Let's have some cake. While the Grolic saves the world. We're getting big. Our worries are mixed. Let's have some cake. While the Grolic saves the world.
Get out the nice china and set a couple extra places. It's the Grolic Saves the World, and we're coming home to dinner, everybody. I'm Adam Caton Holland.
My name is Ben Roy.
And I'm Andrew Orvidal.
And when we're eating in your house, we like to eat on the fine plates. Do not pull out the plates you eat with every fucking day with your dumb family. Get the china out the cupboard, set it for the boys.
Yes,
we're here.
I love it. The stuff that is oddly phallic, the Greek china, the stuff you saw in the movie The Birdcage.
The stuff with like a picture on it that's like some sort of Greek odyssey. Like as I move the food around, I'm just learning.
The gaudy Victorian Rococo plates in your house. Place them
You are
where you'd like us seated.
You are crazy today. What a fun intro, Adam. Now shut up. If you don't know what this podcast is, it is a podcast where we better the world around us by bettering ourselves, through passive-aggressive self-help challenges.
I'm still on the china. Treat us like foreign dignitaries. No one has come to your house this important in your entire life. Dress up. Wear some perfume.
What are
if your
we
men
going
wear
to do
cologne.
with this
Do
meddling
not
Julian
wear
Assange?
perfume or cologne to dinner. You're disgusting, Adam. Ugh. You're gross.
Have cocktails. Have a plan. Are there digestifs? I'm just saying, make an evening.
Ooh, an aperitif.
Anyway, I'm done.
I like an aperitif as opposed to a digestif.
Perhaps games after the meal. I don't know.
Some
You've
Millsborn?
never had anyone like
How about
this in
some
your house.
Millsborn? Anyway, what a fun intro that I don't think it went too long.
Do you have a fireplace? Have a fire going before we get there.
I'll stop at 7-Eleven. I'll get the good wood. You know what I mean? I'll bring a cord
The
of
log,
my
the
own.
Insta-log?
Yes, I'll bring a cord of my own wood.
I'm sorry you derailed me.
Yeah, well, anyway, that was fun, Adam. Good job, actually. I wasn't on board when you started it, but now I'm into it.
All right. This challenge comes to us from Elliot Lang, marvelous illustrator, a Denver area entrepreneur, but most importantly, a patron of our show, who has brought a challenge to us that is actually challenging. I got to just be the first one to say it. These last few challenges, they haven't really been that challenging. Like, can you not be an asshole while you're texting people? Boo-hoo. Wow. Wow, what a hero. I hope you wore a sweatband all week.
Yeah,
Jesus
Ben,
Christ.
can you confront one of your deepest fears and take a drug that has, caused some people to maybe lose their minds here and there?
Boo-hoo, Ben had to have a
It
great
wasn't a
time.
challenge,
We challenged Ben to loosen the fuck up for once.
Adam, can you keep carrying this thing comedically while also steering the wheel? Yes, no problem.
So you're carrying it and steering? It's just like a convertible?
I'm carrying
and
it comedically and steering
Wow,
it.
put
I'm
us
exhausted.
just in the trunk or in the
I'm
back seat.
exhausted.
Well, Adam, you know what? Kick your feet up, bud, because Elliot Lang brought us this challenge.
Thanks, Elliot.
Don't
What
worry
is it?
about
I
it.
can't wait. What is it?
Yeah, so what are we doing, Orbital?
They want us to fucking swim, bro, in a pool with water.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What? I don't know, dude. That feels pretty high octane.
I mean,
I don't know
I'm
when the
gonna be
last time you
honest.
swam is, but it's fucking hard.
This is fucking difficult. Swimming is fucking hard. This challenge actually works out well. I've been told by a doctor that I should swim more because I tore my meniscus doing the jiu-jitsu. my jiu-jitsu. And I had a pretty nasty case of the jits, and I tore my meniscus in the process.
Right in the taint, huh?
Yeah. And I've been told, obviously swimming is very low impact, but incredibly difficult. The only reason I do not swim laps is because it is so hard. That is the only reason. I love being in a pool.
Sucks.
Who doesn't love being in the water? Being in the water is great, but I don't want to.
Ben, let me ask you though, but you still rocking your shirt in there, or have you got to taking it off yet?
That's a tough one, Adam. I don't. I've become more comfortable with my body. That's clear from my GIF work and from our welcome videos for our Patreon subscribers. That I
get some
more
skin. You're going to see some skin.
I don't like to show my back, though. My back knee is a little bit out of control, and so I.
So he wears a weird swim vest. It does show the front torso, but it covers the back.
Swim vest.
It's an open Old West style swim vest made out of wetsuit material. This is a great job.
I've probably seen it in the movie Tombstone.
Yeah.
You've been very familiar
Same
with
thing.
these things.
This Old West swim fashion is coming back.
We're an ocean swim game. We're called the Swells Angels, okay? And what we do is we get out. You want to earn your patch. You want to be full patch, 1%er swimmer guy, then you've got to get out there. You got to cut some people up in the waves out there in the surf.
Wow.
I am a little confused, though. There's got to be more to the challenge than just go swim.
I guess you haven't swam recently because it fucking sucks, dude. Remember when you were a kid? I was like a sea lion when I was a kid. Swimming was so fun. It was like,
Where the fuck? Sorry, Adam, if I may, for a second.
Yep.
Where the fuck
Ben,
were you?
Please. Ben, please.
Yes. Where the fuck were you a sea lion? First of all, you grew up in Colorado. Was it on the docks of Aurora or wherever you went to? Was it out on Old Lakewood
No, I'm
Pier?
swimming in pools, but, as a kid, swimming isn't hard. It's just fun.
Okay, so you were a SeaWorld sea lion is what you are.
Yeah, sorry, I should have qualified. I was a sea lion in captivity. It was pretty sad.
There's no fucking water here, for one. Okay, and two, that's insane. I grew up. I
was a pool lion. You're right. I was a pool lion. But boy, now
you've been kicked out of several public pools for calling yourself the lion of the pool.
Yeah, because I yell it from the locker room before I come out. Here comes the pool lion, and that's it. They revoke my Parks and Rec pass.
Just a mid-40s man alone, just cannonballing into the pool after that.
Yeah.
I do love a good cannonball. Man, that's still the best way to enter a pool.
Did you swim a lot as a kid?
Yeah. We'd go swimming, in the summer, and in the winter we'd go to the indoor YMCA. I had to take swimming lessons. I vividly remember, man, I fucking hated swimming lessons as a kid so much. And I remember being a little kid in swimming lessons, and we had to jump off the diving board into the deep end, and I was terrified of the deep end, and I was especially terrified of the diving board. And they lined us up like little death row inmates to that diving board, and one by one we had to go out there, jump off into the deep end. I'd never done it in my life. And I walked out on that diving board, and I couldn't do it. I could not jump off the diving board. And so I sat down on the edge, and I scooted around, and then I lowered myself while hanging on to the edge of the board. And the swim teacher, this woman, this absolutely no-nonsense woman, I remember she had like a buzz cut. She walked out on the board, and she peeled my fingers off the edge of that diving board one by one, like in a horror movie, and I dropped into the deep end. Oh my God. Despite that story, I did love swimming as a kid.
Well, and I tell you what, it was a slow walk back to high school that day, because you were, 16 or 17 when that happened?
No, I was a little kid.
Adam, did you swim a lot when you were a kid?
Not a lot, but I took lessons, and there's like a swim club called Virginia Vale in Denver that a lot of Denverites will know that place, and we were members of it during the summer. So, yeah, we'd go pretty regularly just to swim. I never did it competitively or swam laps, and timed how fast I could do it, but I definitely learned how to swim and swam a lot for an inland Colorado person. But I would not consider myself an amazing swimmer, but I can swim just fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you take those were swim lessons though? Like actual?
I think there was some when I was a very young kid, and then it was just kind of like.
What about
you can
now?
swim now?
Do you swim a lot? Do either of you swim a lot?
No,
Oh,
not at all.
Yeah, I go swimming like for fun with my daughter. I don't do laps, but every now and then I'll be like, let me see how fast I could turn in a lap, and it's not fast, and it's not good, and I'm like, man, the only thing worse than having a heart attack would be having a heart attack in the water and like double dying, like heart attack and drowning. Oh God, the worst.
Well, as a septuagenarian, Andrew, you need to think about that constantly. But Ben and I should be all right. Ben, you're a Mainer.
Yeah.
But I know you're an inland guy. Are you laying claim to the coast? Are you out there on the rocky shores of
You
Maine?
checking them
yeah,
lobster
we
traps
swam-
by hand? You going down there and bringing the traps up by
Oh,
hand?
you know how we fucking do it. I'll go down and grab a whole bunch of those fucking things from the bottom and bring them up. But they kick like a motherfucker. And if they don't have those rubber bands on their claws, they're going to get onto your fucking skin. Anything hanging off you.
Sure.
No, I grew up in what was called the Winthrop Lakes region. So we had 4 or 5 lakes, like big lakes in the area that I grew up in. So, I mean, I swam during the summer every day. I mean, swimming was and dangerous stand
You get
by
leeches?
me.
You get
swimming.
leeches?
Leeches.
Serial killers, everything.
We used to, okay, so we had a big mill, and then there was a dam that was controlling a fair amount of the water that went down, and there was a house built over it, like this dam control house. We used to swim up over the falls. We would climb up over the falls and then get under the house and stay in there. And I don't know how a fair amount of us did not drown. I mean, like, we swam around and jumped off every manner of bridge and dam. We had this great place where I grew up called the Hollowell Rock Quarries that were a set of granite quarries that had flooded when some pumps failed. So it was filled with machinery and equipment.
good swimming
and
hole.
we used to jump off those every
You just come up like an oil-soaked duckling.
yeah, I mean the water
with
was
a rebar through your abdomen.
because it was spring fed, but you could see overturned vehicles.
Wow.
There was like a chimney that stuck out of the center of it from a house.
You grew up in the
was-
setting of a Stephen King book.
It's insane.
Amazing.
I mean, yeah, that's where I grew up. So we swam a lot. I took swimming lessons, but it was kind of like you had to take them so that our town beach, you could go out onto the far dock. So they had to know you could swim. But
where the
after
real
that
patty
one-
buzzards hung out.
Yeah. Well, after that one set, we just
So it sounds like Ben's going to probably be the most proficient
I am
swimmer, but
terrible swimmer. Like
I think what it
am
comes
not-
down
okay.
to now is who is the fittest. I mean, it sounds like we all know how to swim.
Exactly.
We all know the basic strokes. It's going to come down to fitness level because it is an incredibly syncopated cardio activity.
And it's also regularly on lists as being the best workout for you because it is incredibly low impact. Very low risk of injury because you're not slamming into hard surfaces. So unless, of course, you run the risk sometimes of your fingers being injured if someone is prying them off of a diving board. You do have to worry about some potential damage.
I mean, that cardio of just the fear of dangling off that diving board. Truly one of my
Andrew.
enduring nightmares.
I do think this challenge is undeniably making the world a better place because A, everyone should learn how to swim to avoid drowning. B, if you know how to swim, you can help people who are drowning, perhaps. And that is a safety net that we all have the social pact. We all must help one another not
Yeah,
drown.
I took survival swimming lessons, and even if you know how to swim, don't swim over to somebody who's drowning because guess what? They're going to pull you down too. You're both going down.
So just let them, just watch.
You got to throw them something. Try to assist them without letting them grab onto you. They're in a white hot panic. They're going to claw all over you.
Yeah.
And they will absolutely.
I never thought I'd say
pull you
this,
down,
Adam.
Too.
Andrew is right. I can't even. I can't.
This is
Disagree.
huge.
I watched
This is
several
huge
seasons
for
of a
me.
documentary called Baywatch, and they always go right for the person who's drowning, and they pull them out of there. They were heroes and beautiful people.
Well, the way we learned it in survival swimming, you can't. In survival swimming, we had to jump in the pool with all of our clothes on. We weren't allowed to touch the sides in the deep end of the pool, and we had to spend an entire hour in the pool fully clothed, and they taught us how to make a life vest with your pants. You got to take your pants off in the pool while you're treading water.
The air, right?
Yeah, you tie the legs together,
ends.
you swoop it over your head to film with air,
Yep.
and then you like put your head through. And we had
That's going to be a fun challenge. I think it also makes the world a better place. One, it is an incredible workout. The more, obviously,
and the hunkier we are, the world improves, okay?
Well,
we come out of that pool with those glistening
hunkiness.
swimmer's abs. Get out of here.
But preventative care, obviously exercise is a great way to prevent, health issues in the future if it is something that you can do. So this is a great challenge.
Well, but it's even a better challenge than they know, because Elliot has broken it down for us.
Oh, no.
He wants to do 3 challenges here, and he's pitting us against each other, which is the heart of the pod. We're going to do who can hold their breath the longest. We're going to do who can tread water the longest, and then we're going to do a fucking old school race. Fastest. I don't know if it's a full lap there and back, but Elliot Lang, he coaches swimming himself, and he's friends with Olympic swimmers.
What?
Brag much?
Swam in the Olympics who are going to show up, coach us, and then watch us, and then laugh at us with their medals on.
Oh, man.
What a waste of their time. Holy shit.
I don't get how it's coming together, but it's coming together. So
if they think they can get this raw cinnamon dough body to chug itself across the pool, hats off to you, friend.
raw cinnamon dough.
Cinnamon roll dough is what I meant, but...
Oh, God. I wish we had a diving board challenge. God, I wish we did.
I've conquered the diving board. I love diving boards now.
Oh, I'm sure you love them. I'm sure you're just a regular penguin out there. I have no doubt.
No. We honor the spirit of it, and we see who can cling by their fingertips the longest to a diving board.
Oh, man, it's a real arm workout. The flex arm hang.
Dude, you are just...
Well, listen, this is amazing because, I don't know,
God.
I think you guys have way more experience swimming than I do, so I'm not coming in cocky to this one at all, but this is anybody's
I
challenge.
bet you do more cardio than us, though. I know Ben works out a lot. Although jiu-jitsu was pretty good cardio. We did it.
I don't care. This is going to be a humbling challenge for sure, and I am not going in cocky at all. I'm
Nope.
But I'm excited. Who doesn't like being in a swimming pool and getting laughed at by Olympians?
I'm calling it now. Adam wins the race. I win treading water. Ben wins holding his breath.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I'll win holding my breath if there's a rule that I'm allowed to put my phone in a waterproof case and bring it down and check my Instagram.
I'll allow that.
You hold your breath while you are cruising Instagram? Nice.
I don't like to breathe because it fogs the screen, and then I can't see all my likes.
He's got so much experience because every time he logs on, he's holding his breath, hoping there's a new like.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I'm excited.
I'm excited too. So that's the challenge. We're going to take a couple swimming lessons with some Olympian caliber.
Not even Olympian caliber. Some Olympic athletes.
Olympians, former Olympians,
right,
are going to join us. They're going to teach us to swim, and then we are going to compete against each other in 3 events, holding our breath, treading water, and of course the dreaded swim across the pool and back. And this should be terrifying. I've even heard whispers that there are custom Grolic Saves the World Speedos.
Oh my God. If these come together... Elliot, you horny weirdo.
Sick bastard.
Go
to Patreon. We're not giving this fucking away for free, guys.
We may even start an
Custom
OnlyFans.
Speedos. That's enough of a challenge for me, is putting this disgusting, hairy centaur body of mine into a Speedo and emerging into... Okay.
Next challenge, Andrew learns to be kind to himself. But on this one, let's all swim.
Yeah, let's do it. And... yeah, Andrew, I'm with you. I'm going to look like somebody squeezing a stress ball. So why don't we take a break? Let's listen to some live stand-up comedy from our show that is the last Saturday every month at the world-famous Bug Theater. And we're going to go deep in the vault. Let's go back in the vault. Let's listen to one from an old friend of the show.
Don Rickles.
No, close, though. Denver's Don Rickles, the original Denver Don Rickles. Let's listen to a little comedy from Dan Soder.
Oh.
And when we return, we will be seals.
Or at
We
the very
will be-
least, pool lions.
No, stop it.
One of us may be dead.
Enjoy this and stay tuned.
I was actually talking to my buddy about this before the show, but this is a real thing. When I was like 12, my mom used to date a guy who was in a 45 and over swim league. So you understand that while I was going through puberty, every Saturday morning, I had to go sit in an indoor pool, fully clothed, and watch my mom's boyfriend swim. First off, have you been in an indoor pool fully clothed? It's awful. Now imagine the guy that's banging your mom waddling up in a fucking Speedo with his butt and dick showing. I wasn't molested, but that's pretty fucking close. That's like on the lip. That's a gray area.
Why take one vacation with the family when you could take all of them? With Royal Caribbean, you don't just go to the beach. You visit a private island and race down the tallest water slide in North America. You don't just go for a road trip. You ATV and zip line through the jungle. You don't just go somewhere new. You rappel down waterfalls and discover ancient temples. Because this isn't just any vacation. This is all the vacations. Come seek the Royal Caribbean. Ships Registry, Bahamas.
Get out of the trenches of tedious tasks like managing order fulfillment and start growing your business with ShipStation. They'll help increase profitability by automating your workflow with their simple, easy-to-use dashboard. With it, you can pretty much do everything you need to quickly and easily. Update order information, print labels, compare rates, optimize shipments, and even set up automatic delivery notifications. And it doesn't matter where you sell. Amazon, Etsy, eBay, Shopify, ShipStation can integrate pretty much anywhere online. Another great thing about ShipStation? They can help reduce costs with industry-leading discounted rates from some of the biggest mail carriers. You might even be able to get up to 89% off USPS and UPS rates. So, make this year your most profitable one yet. Sign up for your free 30-day trial at ShipStation.com and use the code Spotify. That's ShipStation.com with the code Spotify.
And we are back, and thanks to the magic of podcasting, and can I get a beefy one, producer Ron? Not to mention thanks to our pal Elliot and producer Ron who made this happen. It has been 8 months later.
This is 8 months later.
And we have completed this challenge. 8 months. What you just heard earlier in the episode, that was like you just cracked open a time capsule going back to January of this year.
We had it originally scheduled and I got COVID. And it was a tough one to orchestrate. A lot of moving pieces on this one. And
But we did it.
glad we finally got it done. And boy,
Well, all we
I
had to do was
feel
show up.
good.
Elliot and Ron did it.
Yes.
And that, once again, is the Grolic Saves the World guarantee. Propose to do a thing, and then do said thing. Even if it's 8 months later, we got it done,
Yeah,
dude.
we got
did it,
Great
man.
episode.
I
Anybody
sounded
got any
so
plugs?
young back then.
No, Adam,
Oh.
Adam, we got to talk about.
Oh, we got to talk
Yeah.
about okay,
I
Jesus
missed
Christ.
January me.
Sorry.
There it is.
So just to refresh you, the listener, on the challenge, because we kind of forgot it as well. 8 months later, we had to meet at a swimming pool and chat with some Olympians, get a micro dose of training, and then have a little Grolic swim meet, have a swim race, have a breath holding contest, a treading water contest, and we did all those things. And points were tallied, winners and losers were crowned.
We went to the Ritchie Center at the University of Denver. It's an Olympic-sized swimming pool.
The biggest swimming pool I think I've ever been in. I don't know. How about you guys? That pool was fucking huge.
Isn't it Denver University? Because the University of Denver is something different, isn't it? No. not
Oh,
right.
my God.
Oh, you're wrong.
Leave
You're
that
right.
in.
I'm wrong
Higher
because
Producer Ron,
it's called
leave that
DU.
in. Wow.
You're wrong. I'm wrong. It's called DU, so I'm stupid for thinking it's Denver University.
I'm just saying I don't think you would get into DU making that mistake.
No, I wouldn't get into DU with all the mistakes I made before the age of. Well, now, I mean, I'm not going to get in now, but
You could get in now, I think. But I think you need to figure out what the school's called, similar to Andrew's cover letter from several weeks ago. I feel like you need to get this one right before even approaching them for
it's
application.
a confusing name. You know what I mean? That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Yeah, that pool back away.
It was huge. It was a huge pool. So we were paired up with actual Olympians. We each got our own Olympian coach. Let's break it down. Let's tell them who we got.
Yeah.
My coach was a gold medalist in the 2000 Sydney Olympics. His name is Tommy Hannan, and he was great. He ruled.
I got paired with 2012 Olympian for Canada, Blake Worsley, who's actually had a couple pool records on the wall at DU in the Ritchie Center. An amazing elite athlete, so fast. I got to say, mine was the best.
My Olympian was Sebastien Rousseau, who swam for South Africa in 2008, 2012, and 2016. And we're saying this very casually. It was insane that 3 Olympic athletes assembled for our idiocy. And that's all Elliot Lang. He swims with these guys. He's friends with these guys.
Yeah.
And they were such normal, cool dudes. You almost like lost track. Like, oh, these are Olympic athletes until Tommy starts pulling out his Sydney gold medal and showing it to us. It was crazy to me that we just on a Sunday had 3 Olympic swimmers show up to dick around with us.
Also,
They all had
nothing has made me feel more like a hobbit than standing next to 3 Olympic caliber swimmers. Holy shit.
I'm not going to objectify, but there could certainly be a boy crazy on these 3. They're
Oh,
tall,
yeah. Oh,
they're
yeah.
skinny, they're handsome, they're strong.
But we don't have enough time. We don't have enough time to do the boy
we
crazy.
Were 3 trolls. We
Yeah,
were
it
3
would-
trolls running around in the presence of
no
God.
one is doubting, guys, that they're a full 30. Okay, 3 of them, all 10s, a perfect 30. Right?
A perfect score.
None of them is doubting. But the part that I liked, let's talk about the tattoos. Every one of them, Olympic rings tattooed on them. That was cool for me to see. I'm going to get my set after this challenge, I think.
Yeah,
Well,
I
that's
mean,
what we were saying. We said we're all going to do it now.
We
that we swam with you.
basically were in the Olympics. We got coached by Olympians.
Listen, the pool is important. The training is important, but equally as important are the accessories, okay? You got to have the right things because you got to be able to glide through the water. Now, we all wanted to get waxed. Didn't happen, okay? It just couldn't. I'm prohibited right now from entering my hair removal center. But this was, they had set it up. Producer Ron and Elliot, they set up getting us our very own Grolix, Team Grolix Speedos. Now, these were something else to put on. My body was not ready for such.
Smaller than my underwear, and I wear briefs. They were so small.
They're bright red. They had our names on them. They were specific to us.
Elliot went above and beyond. They were insane. Like, mine had role-playing game dice on them because I do like role-playing games. It had a little fish. It had my name. It had a drawing of my face. They're insane.
Mine had hops and IPA because I can be reduced to a guy that drinks beer.
You're an
It had
alcoholic,
like 3
Adam,
pints
that's
of
why.
beer right over the dick area.
Yeah. And then mine had little jujitsu guys tossing people. One on the back, which I thought was a nice touch, was someone putting somebody in a top Kimura, which is what I like the Kimura trap. And so it was nice. And not to mention the Grolix Saves the World logo with all of our faces right on our dicks.
So we squeezed ourselves into these Speedos.
Pushing our balls
we went out to the pool.
into our buttholes.
Right. And again, Ben, you've got a big fixation on buttholes this
Yes,
episode.
it's a lot of buttholes.
It is. And we went out to the pool, and there was like an observation deck above the pool. So people were touring the campus.
There were a ton of people there. There was a big soccer game. So, yeah, there was like small crowds.
Yeah, just watching us proceed to get dumb in a pool.
Also, too, to keep in mind, we were given caps and goggles.
And goggles.
For it, of which, just right off the
were set
bat,
up.
before we got in the pool, Adam and Andrew broke both of their goggles.
We did not break our goggles. The goggles we were given, apparently, like experienced master swimmers use these like weird goggles that just come apart in the middle instead of just being connected. I guess that's some advanced goggle technology, but we did repeatedly think they had broken, and then the pro swimmers would be like, no, it's not broken, and they would just like pop the middle piece back in. But it certainly seemed like they were breaking all the time.
Wow, Andrew, you're really working yourself up into a froth.
These goggles, they play a crucial role in the swimming, which we will get to.
This is foreshadowing.
Yes, which we will get
Andrew,
to.
You clearly have a lot to say. Why don't you talk about
your
experience with your training?
Sure.
First?
Yeah. Tommy absolutely ruled. He was great. He was like so optimistic. I was like, are we going off of the starting blocks? And Ellie was like, yeah, you have to dive in off the starting blocks. And I was like, I've never done that in my life. And Tommy's like, oh, we'll get you comfortable with that in 20 minutes. Spoiler, he did not. He tried. he tried, but he did not. If anything, I felt really bad for him. He watched me swim the length of the pool, and at the other end, he watched Ben and Adam, and he goes, your form is way better than those guys. You are going to destroy them. And I didn't have the heart to tell him, the blades on the propeller might be shiny. The motor is garbage. So I just gotta warn you of that. But he seemed very optimistic. He gave me some tips. He showed me videos of Olympic swimmers. Like, do what this guy's doing. Ah, okay.
Perfect.
But he did. I mean, even in the short time we had, he absolutely kind of tuned up some of my mechanisms for sure. And then he did try to help me dive. I have never been able to dive into a pool ever. Not as a kid.
Fucking God.
Not as a teen.
That was amazing.
It was the most amazing thing. Can I describe it? I'm in the water working with my Olympian, with Blake, and I hear the sound of a sheet of ham. A sheet of ham, I would say a flattened sheet of about 6 by 6 yoga
like
mat.
A window, like a large window pane of ham.
Hit the water. Like somebody grabbed one end of it and just whacked the water with it. Andrew did the most epic belly flop I've seen.
That's funny though, because the first dive that anyone took was you, and it smacked the water like someone had thrown a manatee off the back of a fishing boat. It was so loud when you took the first dive. And that was a smackaroo, my friend. I'll tell you
but
what.
It wasn't a belly flop. You didn't even, your legs were below you. It was.
Now, for the listener who may not know, the starting blocks are, an elevated platform, like 2 to 3 feet at the edge of the pool that you leap off into the pool, like you see in the Olympics. I mean, none of us had done that shit.
Yeah,
that was hard.
That was a significant challenge right up top. So Tommy tried to help me dive. I sucked every time. I was
better.
really giving it.
I want to.
I was really trying.
Earnestness. This you did get better. That first dive was not good, but then you slowly picked it up.
Like a sheet of ham.
Yeah,
they were bad throughout. They were pretty bad all the way through. And I smacked the fuck out of myself coming off the starting block so many times.
Yeah, all sides.
Especially my legs. I literally think I screwed up one of the crowns in my teeth. That's how many times I smacked my face into that water. I got a crown in my mouth. I think I'm gonna have to go to the dentist and get it looked at.
Jesus,
that's how much I smacked into the water.
Diving. That's amazing.
So how was y'all's coaching sessions?
Adam?
Sebastien, South African, cool accent. Already I like this dude out the block. He just had a baby. We had a lot in common. But he was very honest with me with the amount of time we had. He was like, we got 20 minutes. He goes, your form's all over the place. He's like, we're not going to fix you in 20 minutes. You got a race to do. So he's like, he gave me simple tips. Like my head was bobbing a lot in the water. He's like, try to keep your head still, because that's just like messing. That's cutting into your time. And I was doing little flutter kicks with my feet. He's like, big, powerful, like you're kicking a soccer ball with your leg kicks. And I said, I knew you probably looked at me and knew I played soccer. So yeah, thank you for putting it in terms I can understand, Sebastien.
Definitely what happened.
And so, and just practical little tips, not trying to rewrite how I do it because he realized I didn't have the time. But he also helped me on the starting block because I'd never done that in my life. And I'm not going to lie, I thought it was intimidating. It's kind of scary getting up there and leaping into the water. But after doing one, I did it pretty all right, and I kind of loved it. Like, that was maybe my favorite part, was jumping off that thing and trying to get as clean an entry into the water as you could and get as far as you could.
When these Olympians would go in off the blocks, they would clear 3/4 of the pool underwater before they had to start swimming.
That was, the most
insane.
impressive thing, is that initial dive. You know, I'm coming up like maybe 10 feet from the board, 12 feet. Andrew isn't joking. They are literally 60 to 65% of the way across the pool before they come up and start their stroke. It's nuts how quickly they did that.
It was like, as we were saying, joking around, we're just like, it's like we're playing pickup basketball and the guys in the NBA just show up and start dunking on everybody. That's what it was like. I really enjoyed the training, and Sebastien was cool, and I think he kind of realized we got 20 minutes. Here's a few tips, and let's just get to it. How about you, Ben?
Mine was great. Blake is awesome. He was like super.
We just want to be friends with these dudes.
I just want to hang out with Blake Worsley. He was.
Yeah, Elliot, if you're listening, can we exchange numbers just to like chat
or something? Have dinner with my kid.
Producer Ron went and had beers with him after the event. None of us could.
Yeah,
but producer Ron's always just opportunistically befriending Olympians. Like, if I have to think of one trait to describe Ron, that's it.
This new podcast, The Olympians Save the World, I feel like it's a conflict of interest, and it's destroying us. These guys
Ron
can do
started a podcast
everything.
with these three
They can
dudes.
do everything.
They're handsome. They're good at everything. They're kind.
Yeah, it's hard.
Anyway,
not to
Ben,
love them.
how was your training
Well,
session?
Blake.
Anyway, get to the jizz riff in the pool.
Let's talk about your
I took
floppy
up so
butthole,
much
Ben. What
chlorine
happened?
into my rectum? I was less buoyant than expected.
There he is.
No. I got in, and he was like, "Your actual swimming form is not that bad." What he was trying to get me to do was really extend out and turn over onto my side, and like, I didn't realize that with freestyle swimming, with the breaststroke or no freestyle. That you really want to like turn over to get that breath out of the water. So I became fixated on that. I didn't really care about being as fast. He was like, really try to work on that form, and the speed will come with it. And then my first dive off the block wasn't as great. But then he told me...
Manatee off a boat, it's been described as.
But then he got me to use the handles on the side.
And sideways. I don't mean it was a sideways manatee.
Yeah. But he got me to use the handles. There's these little handles on the side of the platform that you could push yourself off with, too. And once I started doing that, it got better. And he was like, really get your form rigid when you get out. Like, straighten yourself out. So it was great. He gave me as much as he could in 20 minutes. And then the time for the races.
And mercifully, they did not have us swim the long way. We wouldn't have done it. It would have been, I would have died. I'll claim that right now.
Yeah, I think they were trying to prevent
So-
a drowning incident in front of a bunch of
so
teenage soccer players.
We
for sure.
swam the short length of
right.
the pool, which was 25 meters across. And so the starting event was a 50-meter race. So it was across the pool and back. We had to start on the blocks and dive in and swim our best freestyle. So we went up. They even had one of the volunteer lifeguards. He got the official like starting gear. So they had like the swimmers, take your marks, like on the microphone, and he had the signal and everything.
And then it went...
We were off. Right away, I do my signature belly flop, hit face first in the water. The aforementioned goggles snap in half, as they just do randomly. So I don't have my goggles. Ben and Adam are off to the races, literally. I'm treading water, trying to put the goggles back together. They're not going back together. So I just start swimming. I can't swim with my eyes open in the pool. I did as a kid, but ever since I grew up, it burns my eyes. I can't do it. So I'm like, oh, I can't see. So then I start trying to swim with my eyes closed. I can't do it. I'm like up against the rope, and I throw an immediate temper tantrum. I throw my goggles back across the pool. I was very mad, and then I just did a leisurely backstroke to finish up because I couldn't swim. It was disappointing because I thought my cardio fitness would betray me, but instead it was the goggles that I had been given which betrayed me.
Yep, I think everyone watching that race blamed the goggles.
That's
and
what
not
they were
Andrew
saying. They
Orbital.
were
Yes,
saying if
for
this guy
sure.
could just get over.
I mean, my form entering the water was also partially responsible
think the
for
fact
the goggles
that you smacked
failure.
your face off the water was why your goggles broke.
But there was a race. Who won that race?
Well, Adam and I took off, and Adam's coach's suggestion to just go for it proved to be correct because I was in Adam's wake the whole time. It was so hard to keep up with him. You just went after it, Adam. You were like,
I just went for broke, and I'm the first to admit the form I'm sure was atrocious. Like when you'd watch these Olympic swimmers swim, they would glide. There'd be very little splashing of the water. It was so smooth. I was just a frantic water everywhere, but I was just going as fast and as hard as I could, and that was my strategy, and it paid off. I won the race.
I knew you were going to win because you have that Peloton cardio. I was like,
I don't swim a lot though. I mean, I definitely am good cardio
that
shape, but I
Peloton
don't
gets you in
swim
that-
at all.
yeah, it was
cardio shape.
impressive, your cardio, because on that turn, I started to gain some ground because I was trying to stay consistent.
My bud, I could feel that. I could see you gaining ground, and then
And then you
found
turned it
another
on
gear.
again, and I think you beat me by 4 seconds or so. I don't know. It was a lot. And I was impressed.
We have the times. We'll post them for those of you who are big swim meet stat hounds. I know you're out there. We'll have them, and we'll put them up on the Patreon or online. So Adam won the first race. It was you got points for every event, and depending on how you ranked. And then the coaches mercifully were like, "Let's do another race, just 25 meters, and you don't have to go on off the blocks. You can just push off the wall." So we had another race. We turned around. This time we got to start in the water and just kick off the wall like I'm used to swimming. And
overcoming adversity, Andrew kept his goggles on.
I kept my goggles
his head.
on because I was not buffeting my face around in the water.
And you redeemed yourself on this one.
I did. I got second. I was right behind Adam on that one, so I felt a little better.
Yeah, it was real close. My legs were already burning.
My coach told me they don't even take a breath when they swim across the 25 meters. I was like, "How many breaths should I be taking?" And he was like, "Oh, the actual like pro swimmers who would swim this length," he's like, "They don't take a breath when they go across."
Well, see,
this
and
distance.
I want to say,
I took 68.
yeah, I didn't take a single breath. I
Oh,
just
wow.
drank about a gallon of pool water.
We told you,
That's
Ben, you
smart.
have not
Smart.
evolved to process
And
pool water.
I
We
know,
told you
and
this.
I realized the error of my ways, but the amount of water, it was just so tasty, you know?
Oh, it was,
my
it was
God.
crisp
on
and
that
cool.
second one, did I drink so much pool water? Because I was really trying to get that breath out of the side of the mouth. I don't know how the fuck they do that.
It is tricky. So we then moved to the deep end of the pool. It was time.
Wait. So Adam won the race.
Yes,
So
sorry.
Adam won his second consecutive race.
Well, sort of. We should mention that.
Of the Grolics.
Yeah.
I had the best score of the Grolics. Sebastian, my coach, hopped in the pool, raced alongside us. and
Destroyed us.
He did
easily.
it. There is a photo of him finishing, and we are still only halfway across the pool. And to say that he was trying would be a joke. He had this very effortless, like, lazy,
He's just
I'm just
smiling.
out with the idiots taking him for a swim.
I'm surprised he wasn't dipping in between us like a dolphin, having fun, poking our bellies,
Yeah.
just go, whatever.
It was so
Out
stupid.
for a frolic.
So Adam has got 2 wins under his belt. Let's move to the
under my
deep end
under
of
my
the
red
pool.
tight Speedo.
Yep.
Yeah, he's got him stuffed in a Speedo.
And you can see
2
them.
wins.
They were bolted.
Yeah, it's
So it's
herniated.
time for some
win.
other skills contest. We had a breath holding contest. They worked us up to it. We held our breath for like 15 seconds and then 30 seconds, and then it was time for the contest. Who can hold their breath underwater the longest? And Adam and I had kind of chatted with this the night before. There's something weirdly like mental about holding your breath. You have to like feel good about the breath you took, at least me, or I'll like get in my head and I'm like, I don't have enough air. But in this case, they worked us up. I was like, I have too much air. Fuck, I got too much air.
Andrew,
I don't
exactly.
know.
Andrew and I were saying sometimes you go underwater and you're like, I could stay down here forever. And sometimes you're like, I didn't get a good one. And you got to come right back up.
So Adam popped right back up. I don't even know how long Adam was under, but
I was huffing and puffing from that race. I could have used some more time to calm my
He
breath.
had big bad wolf syndrome, and it's a real thing that professional
I came up after
swimmers
12
get.
seconds. I couldn't stay underwater at all. I came up after 12 fucking seconds.
So Ben and I went at it, and I knew Ben was going to crush this because of his like jujitsu breathing and like trying not to be choked out. I knew Ben could hold his breath like a motherfucker, and I was not wrong. Ben beat me. I think I made it 45 seconds, and Ben could have kept going, went at least a minute
or something. Yeah.
But I definitely got in my head. I certainly had air left when I came up, but I was just kind of in my head about it.
You
and
both hit the nail on the head. There's a feeling where when you suck in so much air, you feel as if you've taken too much in and that it's uncomfortable, or you feel at first like you're going to pass out a little bit and you just have to ride past that. And I could hear you all talking. So I was like, okay, I know like Adam already came up. I could just hear him be like,
Yep.
I'm done. And that was it. But Andrew stayed under there for a while. So I was like listening and did really well. But I think that was the easiest of the challenges. To me, the first swimming one was hard. And then the last one was really difficult, which was to tread water.
Well, before we get to that, I want to talk about one of my favorite moments, which was that Ben crushed me and Andrew in the breath holding. And it was really Ben's moment to shine. And everyone was, we were in the pool recovering, sort of, waiting for the next thing. And I said out loud, the reason Ben did this is because he's got so much practice with the belt around his neck. And everyone laughed. The Olympians laughed. And what's important is that in that moment, I was able to wrench the attention back to me and make it a nice win for me in that moment
by
comedically.
using
Which
the
should have been
riff
Ben's
that
moment,
I had said
then
to
became
Adam
mine.
seconds before in the pool.
By stealing Andrew's riff, making it my own. And then the Olympians all laughed and they're like, we love this Adam guy. And it was really what a great moment for me.
Classic Grawlix moment, really. So Ben with a win on the board with the breath holding, then it was time to tread water. And to up the ante, I suggested we hold diving bricks, which is how I had to do it back in survival swim class. So just as a funny goof, they somehow found this insane stone, this big square stone that they lugged out. And they were like, yeah,
50 pounds.
They were like, we need you to hold this. And I was watching, I was like, what the fuck are they doing? Like, that's not what I was talking about at all. And they played it straight enough that we were all like terrified and thought we'd have to tread water with this 50-pound stone. And then they were like, haha, just teasing you.
No,
and,
I was psyched,
instead,
but I was like, you're all going to have to retrieve this from the bottom of the pool.
Yeah, it was insane. I was like, don't make us hold it over our heads. When we drop it, we'll brain ourselves. So instead, they gave us little junior-sized basketballs that we had to hold out of the water.
Weren't they like the water polo ball?
Water polo balls, sorry.
Yeah.
As I call them, little tiny basketballs. But we had to keep those out of the water. And to start, we could have one hand in the water, which made it a little bit easier to tread water. But then it seemed like the contest could go on into the late evening. So they changed it. So we had to use both hands to hold the ball out of the water. And it came down to Ben and I.
After 2 minutes. So the first 2 minutes was one hand in the air. And then after that, it was two hands.
Ben did a real sneaky kind of weird back float for the first half of his where you can
Yeah, that was a dubious.
He kind of is like
move.
motoring around, kind of reclining on his back. Not really staying vertical, treading water.
Classes when I was growing up, and laying on your back is a form of treading water. You tread water till you're gassed, then you lay on your back. Then you tread water till you're gassed.
Right, but you started out.
Exactly. I'm allowed to do that. That's treading water. It is still.
No one knew we were going with Maine water survival official doctrine.
I'm sorry, we're surviving in the water. And you guys, I'd love it. If you end up in the ocean, you're going to be like, this isn't the rules. I will not lay back. No way.
Well, just to get back to this
Fucking
swim meet,
assholes.
we were not in the ocean. It didn't matter anyway because I won. As soon as Ben had to put both hands on the ball, he sank
sunk
like a rock.
Stone, yeah. He was like, all right, 2 minutes, put your hands on the ball. And I was done. And Andrew was...
I was out pretty early on this one, too.
Adam gassed himself on those first two races.
I also am not a great water person. I didn't have a lot of experience growing up.
Adam,
I was
you
telling
are a
Katie when I
great
came
water
home, I was
person.
just like, if there's a shark attacking the Grawlix, I'll survive. If it's a Grolix open water challenge, I'll be the first to die. Like, that's just how it is.
Yeah, it was interesting for sure. That was my only straight up win, was the treading water challenge. And
give yourself credit, Andrew. When you went 2 hands over your head, I sunk almost immediately. You stayed up for a while with both your hands up over your head.
I stayed up, and by that point, my breathing sounded like a piece of industrial machinery that had like stripped its bearings, but I kept at it. The sound that I was making was pretty terrifying. Like,
but you stayed up. You stayed up, though. I give you credit. I mean, that was hard.
Yeah, that was. I've always been pretty good at treading water. So
after every event, the Olympians and our buddy Elliot would gather and confer and talk about who knows what. They'd judge us, and then they'd put up the scores.
It was
so
Elliot talking the Olympians into staying there. They were like, this is an insane waste of our time. And Elliot was like, be cool. Just stay here. Let's
and I know
do
what
this.
you're going to say, Adam. You're going to say, and somehow, after all of this, we came out tied at 12 points each.
Statistical tie.
Right. The reason being, you won the first 2. You came the first 2 races, then the next 2 events you lost.
I came in last. I see.
Then Andrew won, came in second a couple times and won one. Ditto myself. So it all evened out.
It evened out.
Classic failing upwards from me, which is just my signature.
No, I will say, Andrew,
so just
you're consistent.
So at this point, we decided we needed one more race to determine things. And since we were having such a good time and the Olympians realized they were dealing with Olympic equivalents of comedians, they're like, let's just have some fun. Let's do this together. And so we did a race. We did a relay race with our Olympian, which was by far my favorite moment of the day, because we're like, I don't know, I felt an extra pressure. Then I was like, I can't disappoint Sebastien. I want to be BFFs with Sebastien for life, and it starts today.
Yeah, I felt too. I was like, I've let my coach down grossly. So far. So this is my chance to redeem myself.
Ditto. We're in the middle of doing legal paperwork to have Milo's name changed to Blake.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, and I didn't want to disappoint him. Blake Worsley Roy.
Fingers crossed for Milo, man. What a win.
Yeah, what an
Milo,
upgrade. What an upgrade for Milo.
Yeah. To carry on the Worsley name.
So he's getting the last name too? It's a full legal change? Blake Worsley?
This was the best part. We started on the opposite side of the pool. We would swim 25. Then they would do a dive off the blocks over us as we touched the relay wall, do 50, and then we would do the last 25, whatever team won, right?
Yeah. And I don't know if you guys talked with your coaches for strategy, but Sebastien was like, Adam, mate, if you can, go to the right of the starting block. And I was like, of course, anything for you, Sebastien. So I swam to the right so he could dive into the other side. And just that sort of teamwork, he didn't even have to say it, but it was sort of intuitive at that point.
Just synced up.
Now, we took off out of the blocks, standard Grolix formation.
We did not take off out of the blocks.
No, I mean, we took off the wall. In standard Grolix formation, Adam, again, leads the race. He comes out and he's like, I'm going to kill myself for this win. And he starts fighting
I will kill
the
myself
water.
for you, Sebastien. Yeah.
He is in a...
I fought the water as fast and as hard as I could.
And
Adam, you beat the shit out of that water. I don't know what that water said to you when we first got to the pool, but
that is definitely my style. My style is fight the water.
Yes. And so Adam takes off like a dart. I'm in second place. Andrew is very close right with me. He's staying right with me, and I think Andrew passed me. I
don't remember who touched the wall first because I was just terrified.
You did. You beat me on that first round because I felt bad for Blake, and I remember wondering, God, I hope he doesn't hit me when he dives. And then when he dove, the sun blacked out. He dove so far over me.
Yeah, they cleared us so easily.
I was like, oh, yeah, you're 9 feet tall and built like a Salvador Dali painting. And so this guy hit the water and didn't come out for 3/4 of the length of the pool. It was nuts. And I'm like, that's why you guys are Olympians. You don't swim for half of the pool above water.
Oh, you just glide.
Yeah. Well, Tommy told me, he's like, you'll never be faster in the race than you are coming off the blocks. So he was like,
that's where you really get your advantage.
And I was like, not me.
I got there first. swam to the right, like Sebastien said. I watched him leap over me, and so they were going to swim there and back, and then it was our turn to finish the race. And he was there and back so fucking fast. I was exhausted.
He was
I was exhausted
fast.
from my sprint.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got to go again. Like, it was instantly. And that's when I turned it on again. But Ben, I'll tell you, I could feel you coming on my heels. And halfway through my final lap, I sucked in so much water. I took in greedy mouthfuls of water, and I started choking. And literally, I was like, I will kill myself for this race. I was like, I can see the end, and I can choke my way to the end. And I just like fought it off, and I got out of the pool, and I thought I was going to puke. I thought I was going to pass out.
Oh, my God, dude.
That's the difference between us, Adam, because I also, on that last lap, horked up a huge amount of wake because we did not discuss strategy. So I swam straight into Tommy's wake. I went to take my first breath and just took a wave, just a lapping wave over my face, sucked in a bunch of pool water. I decided I did not want to kill myself for the race.
Interesting.
And instead was like, bleh, bleh, like trying to get the water out of my system there. So that destroyed
job.
me. That destroyed me in the final lap.
I don't know about you guys. Adam, you alluded to it. I touched the wall and was holding on to it, and I was like, fuck, all right, here we go. Get your breath.
Recover.
He's already on his way back. I'm not joking. He just jumped in, and I was like, all right, you got a minute, get your breath. And I turn and look, and I see his cap heading towards me, and I'm like, for fuck's sake, Blake. And then I take off again, but I hear Andrew choking in the lane next to me.
And he came over and saved me.
No,
it was the most
I didn't.
sportsmanlike thing. No, he didn't. He just kept going.
Took off and tried to catch Adam. And that was the lap where I hit my best stride. I felt like I was swimming the best. I was catching the best breaths. And I started to catch up to Adam. But Adam was in his
lead was insane.
I will die
Sebastian
for this.
got me a big lead, and I will die for this
Yeah,
today.
and so I came in second. Andrew, you
Third.
did finish it, though. You came across.
Yeah, but
You're making it sound
was
like
a
you
third.
didn't. You just coughed for a bit beforehand, and then...
Yeah, that delay.
Yeah,
I would have had. I think I would have had second if I had kept my pace.
I think you
but
would
maybe
have.
not.
You had got a big lead, and so did your coach.
Tommy?
Yeah, he was so fast.
I just didn't. I had no idea. I've never swam a relay before. I didn't think about wakes or anything. I would have just kept my head in the water and just kept swimming. But I
Yeah.
had no.
Well,
lesson
after
learned.
I recovered from my near death experience, your coach Andrew Tommy came over with his Olympic gold medal and put it around my neck, and that was a real moment.
It was,
And he whispered in your. I wish I had been your coach.
and I whispered, I wish you were my dad.
"You want to go throw the old pill around in the backyard, Dad?"
We have footage. We have footage of Adam getting this medal, and I've never seen this expression on Adam's face in our entire friendship. He looks. He's beaming. We'll have a lot of this on Patreon, and
All of it.
he
I
looks
think we
so
got
happy.
it.
He looks so happy.
Producer Ron creeped everybody out.
Ron got some not safe for work. He was in the locker room with us.
Yeah, Ron, it was not okay. It was not okay. So, yeah,
Ron got a
spoiler
lot of
alert.
footage. We'll
Let's
put it on
break it
Patreon.
down. Gold medal, first place. If you've been crunching the numbers as you've listened, yes, it was Adam with 15 points in the swim meet. Second place, a stalwart Clydesdale, Ben Roy, silver, 14 points. Third place, which amazed me to even be this close with 13 points, was me with the bronze. But hey, just happy to be up there on the podium.
We all
to
had
be
our
honest.
strengths. Andrew's water survival classes came back.
If I fall off a boat and there's a tiny, like, neon pink basketball that needs saving that can't touch the water, I'm your man. Definitely hit me up for that because I'm going to keep it out of the water.
Actually, the lobster industry is employing Andrew to save buoys, and that's what he does.
I'm out there. I'm out there just holding them up. They come by. Yeah, it's great work.
Yeah, and similarly, if I'm ever caught in a flash flood, I'll fight back. I'll fight the water back.
But what a challenge.
Yeah,
Ben kept saying it. It was true. He was like, this was humbling.
This was very humbling. So let's ask the question we always ask now that we're at the tail end of this. One, do you think this makes the world a better place? Two, would you do it again? And I want to add, throw in maybe a little tip you learned for people out there, a swimming tip.
Wow. So does it make the world a better place? Yeah. Anytime you can exercise, meet up with friends. Sure. I mean, it was very difficult. I hadn't swam in forever, and I've never been in a swim race since I was maybe a kid or something. It was so different than regular swimming.
Big time.
There was just a lot of mental aspects to it. Like when you're running and the adrenaline kicks in, you get a runner's high. It's like an endorphin. Or you're riding your bike, you get those endorphins from this. But when I was swimming and trying to race swimming, it just activated my panic mode, where it was just oh fuck, because holding your breath and being in the water, it didn't feel good like the aforementioned cardio activities. And that's just something to get used to. You just have to get used to swimming. And I very, very rarely swim. So I would say you just have to get comfortable in the water mentally, whether you're racing or not. Just spend some time in it.
Yep.
Adam?
I loved this challenge. I think it is good for the world to work on swimming to survive better. And my form was so atrocious. I want to do more of this and get calmer in the water and more effective rather than fighting it. And certainly I want to be better at my breath and treading water. But yeah, also just hanging out with you guys and 3 Olympians and Elliot and Ron. It was an amazing afternoon. And I've been telling everyone about it. It was one of the coolest things I've done in a long, long time. And I honestly, just as we age, and I see the value of swimming as exercise more than ever before. And I was watching you, Ben, and even when we were done, you were I'm going to do a few more laps and work on my form. And I was this is better than jujitsu. And I know your addictive personality. I was Ben should get into swimming, man. And I kind of had the same thought. It's a really great form of exercise. So my little tip would be to do it more, to use this as an exercising device as we age. It's very good for your body. And the next day I felt sore in the best way possible. I was I feel really good from that activity. So yeah, I'm going to try to swim as much as I can.
I mean, I'll echo that as well. I think low impact, high caloric burn cardio workout, I don't know that there's any better of those variables in there, that the lowest possible impact and an incredibly hard workout. And Ernest Nishorn, for a long time, swimming was prohibited for so many people. Whole entire subsets of our population, groups of our population, were not allowed at public pools. Now that has changed a lot. There are a ton of rec centers because I think it is a great workout for people who maybe struggle with certain physical issues, with joint issues or whatnot. This is a great workout for that. I highly recommend people going to swim as an exercise.
Yeah, for sure.
Being in the pool is super relaxing. And this was, I don't know about you, this was the most scared I've been for challenges. I grew up swimming, and this terrified me. Being in the middle of 8 feet or 11 feet at points, gasping for air, it humbles you for sure. So I'll definitely be doing it again. I loved it.
It was definitely a
the night before we had the Grolix show, and Andrew and I were talking a lot, and we were both very nervous. And I think anytime you can just go do something that makes you nervous, it's also a very good thing. Just encounter that fear. We all had a blast. It was fine. It was just friends fucking around trying to swim.
Yeah, definitely.
Fast. It was a good time.
Go to your local rec center, your local swim school, and take swimming lessons if you don't know how to swim. And if you do know how to swim, get better at it. I really think it's
and just bring 3 Olympians.
Yeah.
Bring
you
3 Olympians
just call
with
up
you.
Tommy and Blake and
And the best part too is
Blake.
They didn't complain about the amount of water we drank out of that pool. You're allowed to drink as much pool water as you want.
Ben got on all fours and was drinking like a deer.
He's you guys owe us water.
Yeah,
the pool was 3 inches shallower when we got out.
But don't worry, I repaid them in chlorine diarrhea, so that's
I did. I was so hungry afterward, and I texted you all. I was I have such indigestion from all that pool water I drank. I'm hungry, but I don't want to eat.
Not good
on
for
Ben's what Ben said real quick. I will give you this tip: if you live in the Denver area, the Denver Parks and Rec, they often have a Black Friday sale in November, and their annual pass is crazy inexpensive if you buy it then. So if you live in Denver and you are interested in maybe swimming or just using any kind of rec center facilities, hit up that Black Friday sale in November, and it is like an insane deal if they do it this year like they usually
and
do.
they get a lot of those have things for kids, the swimming pool area for kids, as well as lap times and lap swimming time for people who just want to get into the pool and swim some laps for workout. Definitely do it. What a great challenge.
Great challenge.
Well worth the wait. This was so fun. Why do we do this? Why don't we take a quick break? Dottie D here. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to listen to some live stand-up comedy from our live show at the Bug Theater. Make your pilgrimage here. Come see us. Come see us live. This clip from a regular has been on the show a bunch of times. You love him. It's David Bory. And when we return, we have more show. Plus,
best
those
third act in the biz.
September birthday shout outs that you can't wait for. Also, we're going to tease the next episode's challenge. You don't want to miss. This is our favorite part of the show, so stay tuned.
I've also been watching a lot of the Olympics. I have a good time with the Olympics. They do some. I did 2 sexism jokes back to back. He must be woke. No, I get hella mad at female gymnastics. Do you ever watch women's gymnastics? Yeah, man, because like I'll be watching it and Simone Biles will do some shit. She'll do something amazing, and then she has to like also pretend to dance. Like, what the fuck is that? Who gives a shit? She's amazing. I don't give a fuck if she has rhythm. Who is this for? Why do we have to pretend she's like a dancer? This woman does a triple twist, double backflip. That's 5 decisions in the air. In 34 years of life, I've never been in the air long enough to make more than 1 decision. Panic, that's all I fucking got. It's just like insane. I hate it because it's like, why are we pretending they're like ice dancers? These women aren't delicate. This is gym fucking nastics. It's for beefcakes. That's what the sport is. Like, I don't want dancers. I just want to see hardened athletes. Like, have you seen her legs? Her leg muscles. She has leg muscles the size of like a 40-year-old obese man's. Like, and not like a guy who just got obese, like a guy who's been like, type 2 childhood diabetes. They're so strong because they've been carrying a burden. Like that kind of leg muscles, I give a fuck. She can leg press a Volkswagen. Get out of here with that fucking dancing shit.
And we are back. What an episode. And thanks to the magic of podcasting, Adam is not here with us. He's actually training for the Olympics.
He got bit. He saw those rings tattooed on all their shoulders, he says.
And he wants it.
Can do that.
It's nice to just have you and I for once, Ben. Enough.
I know.
It's like, the manager's
Jesus,
gone. We can do whatever the fuck we want.
Ron, would you be willing to share the script with us? Because I have no idea what we're
I know
saying.
what we're doing. We're going to thank the people who made this episode possible. Sometimes there's not very many people to thank. Sometimes there's a bunch. And in this episode, there are a bunch.
There are a bunch of thanks
to Elliot Lang, and an even bigger thanks to Olympic athletes come coaches Blake Worsley, Tommy Hannan, and Sebastien Rousseau, who gave up their perfectly fine weekend to come coach our dumpy asses. It's like giving Renaissance sculptors oatmeal and being like, you've got 20 minutes. Let's see what you could do. I cannot tip my cap enough to them for helping us out with this episode and making it
also,
special.
I want to add a big shout out to everyone at the University of Denver, including the 2 young, bewildered lifeguards who were required to be there on duty. As Andrew said, dumpy oatmeal was poured into the pool, and we risked drowning in front of them, and they were amazing and so welcoming, and so a huge thank you to all of you. Also, Andrew, we got to say it, big shout out and thank you to our Patreon supporters for making challenges like this possible. They're the reason you're going to see us in Speedos. You're going to see us in goggles and caps. You're going to see our bodies. And this is what you get. So as we watch subscriber count dwindles.
So thank you a ton. Well, you know what time it has been.
I'm warming up the DJ booth.
Plugs.
Yeah,
What do we
dude,
got to plug?
Well, I'm going to tell you, Adam texted me specifically. He wanted everyone in the Steel City in Pittsburgh to know Adam's going to be at Bottle Rocket Social Hall in Pittsburgh on October 7th. So Steel City, you don't want to miss this.
Pittsburgh, Three Rivers, row your way over. I know nothing about Pittsburgh.
Take the incline train down to see our little firecracker. He's going to be in your town, so make sure you go check him out. Bottle Rocket Social Hall, October 7th. Andrew, do you have something you want to bring up?
We do. So, as we have announced, the Grolix is normally every month at the Bug Theater. However, this month, there is no Grolix. We already popped our Denver Grolix at the High Plains Comedy Fest. Instead, we're going to be up at Fort Collins at the Comedy Fort, which is an amazing club, September 29th, just doing one show. We've done the Grolix up there before. It is an absolute blast. That club rules. If you're up anywhere in the Fort Collins area, you should come down. September 29th. It's going to be awesome. We'll have some special guest locals. We'll have the links in the show notes if you want to grab tickets. I believe it's sold out on the previous times you've gone up there, so pounce on those tickets.
You can follow us wherever you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. It's always at Grolix Comedy. Reach out and tell us about your favorite stroke. What's a stroke you like? Stroke me, stroke me. That's my favorite stroke. We also want to encourage you folks, leave a review, and there's been a ton lately. I want to read one right now since Adam's not here. I want to read one.
Doing the manager's job.
Yeah, I want to say this. We're going to keep reading them, make them ridiculous. We love it. This is off iTunes, of course. It's Andrea 5280, 5 stars. Better than Smartless is the headline, and the review is real, relatable, hilarious, and Denvery. And so we appreciate that. Don't know what Denvery is, but thanks for the review, Andrea 5280.
It's a type of very regional dysentery. It's after you've eaten El Taco de Mexico, you could get Denvery for the weekend.
A lot of dehydration.
Yeah. Thank you for the reviews, and a huge shout out to our aforementioned Patreons. If you already support us on Patreon, that's huge. Thank you so much. And if you'd be interested in supporting us on Patreon, we could always use your support. We have a ton of benefits on there. There's 3 different tiers. You can get ad-free episodes. At the Ben level, you can get a welcome message from Ben that you should probably watch in private. We've got some new stickers coming. We have a pod within the pod, Boy Crazy, where we rank the hunk-worthiness of pop culture icons or whoever we fucking feel like. And we usually always have bonus content from the episodes. And I'll tell you, no episode has generated as much bonus content as this swimming episode. If you are in the market for skin, for man flesh, well, buckle up, because as long as you're cool with the color of that skin being kind of an off blue white, you're going to get a lot of it. If that's something that you want to see, then you could get on our Patreon.
And if you can't join Patreon right now, remember, you can still always support us. The easiest way, just tell a friend about the podcast. We love that. And if you're a Patreon subscriber, one of the perks, you get birthday shout outs.
Oh, shit.
From
Here
us.
it comes.
Oh, my God. And
September.
Ooh,
Birthday
and Andrew,
shout out.
We were talking, you suggested that we, in honor of this episode, we list what our birthday subscribers' favorite swimming stroke
Yes, if they were going to go into the Olympics for swimming, what stroke would they be an expert in. So I'll take the first one here. Tee me up. Who is it?
You got the first one, bud. I'm so happy because this is longtime friend of the pod, subscriber. We've met this person a bunch of times during our live Q&As. It is Laura Ochoa's birthday.
Oh, of course. San Antonio zone, if I remember correctly. If I don't, that just makes me seem like a
you've been to the
creepy
pool
stalker.
numerous times with Laura. What's Laura's favorite stroke?
Easily the 50-meter Mothra. The 50-meter Mothra stroke. Not everybody can do it. That's Laura's.
Grooves through the water, right?
Yeah.
I like that. That's cool. Mothra, Laura Ochoa, and so graceful. I'm going to go my turn. This is another one who has been supporting us, I believe, since the Those Who Can't days. This is Sean Sakame. I'm going to pronounce the last name wrong. I'm so sorry, Sean, but we've never known how to pronounce your last name. But I've been with Sean a number of times. The fastest doggy paddler I've ever seen.
Move over dogs. There's a new dog in the pool. Holy shit, like a motorboat.
Yeah, just gets head above water, panting the entire time, tongue draped, just the tip of his tongue touching the water, but shockingly fast.
There's like a wave runner plume of spray behind that doggy paddle.
I'll take this next one. I got it. Another just stalwart patron of the show, Kyle Bernhardy.
Nice.
Love this guy. And favorite swim stroke, just an underwater diver. Doesn't like to come up much for air. Actually born with a vestigial set of gills. So that allows him to stay beneath the surface, where honestly, that's where Kyle shines. So happy birthday, Kyle. We hope you find yourself in the depths.
Okay, up next, I'll take the next one. K-Whams. Sounds like...
I believe that's Kayla Wamsley.
Sounds like a rock radio station in El Paso County.
K-Whams got spitting the hottest singles of yesterday and today. Coming up, Foreigner, Rock Block.
I should have known. It's impossible to do radio station call letters without activating Donnie D. It's kind of like a supernatural presence.
Deal.
Like a Bloody Mary situation in front of the mirror.
But you've been in a pool you've been in open water. I don't think you've ever actually swam in a pool, but you both tried to swim the English Channel together, you and Kayla. Yes. What was Kayla doing across the English Channel?
Kayla's favorite stroke, the electric eel, because in a strange twist, she brings her phone with her. It's not advised. She's got her phone with her to do the electric eel.
Ooh, the electric eel, also a very popular dance step in the early 80s. That was a good one. Okay, my turn. This is another longtime fan, somebody who talks back and forth with us a lot, Tiffany Losasso. And big fin swimmer. Not many know that about Tiffany Losasso.
Because does she have a natural fin, like a
no. But, somebody who does a lot of those deep dive competitions and has that big fin. Not very strong with the arms, but wow, the mermaid fin really gets down there. Broke a record, actually burst both of her eardrums.
Worth it.
We hope you recover safely. Thank you, Tiffany, for your service. And
last but not least, we have Gaia.
Ooh, Gaia.
I think Gaia's favorite stroke, kickboard tiny kicks. Kickboard tiny kicks. You hold the kickboard and you do the tiny kicks. Nobody better in the game.
Swimming lessons and just never got rid of them, right? And really,
I mean, if you can refine it, sure, you learn it in swimming lessons. You can keep doing it.
So just a tiny kick, not much of a splash. Like a little water sprite. Well, that is great. Thanks to everybody and all of you that support us. Remember, you can get your own birthday shout out. Just go to patreon.com/Grolic Saves. As always, that link is down in the show notes. Also want to give a beautiful, big, hearty shout out, more so than ever, to our producer, camera in the locker room, Ron Doyle.
So, yeah, as he was gathering all of the bonus footage, Ron also just straight up bringing the camera in the locker room where we did not rent out. We did not have exclusive use of the locker room. So there were some fully nude college boys walking around, luckily not through any of Ron's shots. But bold move, camera in the locker room, Ron Doyle. As always, huge shout out to Mike Henderson for helping us grab this audio, both at High Plains, also at our live show. Thank you, Mike. You're doing the Lord's work.
As always, our theme music is brought to you by the buoyant Charlie Continental. Extremely buoyant guy.
Just bobbing around. Kids could use him as a flotation device.
Yeah.
You know, grab on.
Well,
what are we doing next step? What are we doing?
Andrew. Adam hinted at it in the first half of this episode. And honestly, I think at the beginning of the credits, you reinforced the need for this challenge, Andrew. I don't want to give away too much, but Andrew, I think it's time to love yourself a little bit more. That's all I'm going to say about that, Andrew.
You want me to go crank it right now?
Well, we have been doing a lot of stroke talk, so I don't think it'd be bad. Andrew,
That's the challenge. We're doing a cranking it challenge. Oh gosh,
no, Andrew, we're not doing a cranking it challenge. I'm gonna get out of here before this gets bad. Play us out, Charlie. Don't say cranking it anymore on air.